I really need a new video idea. Yeah, we could do that. So Matrix is an end-to-end encrypted and open source messenger service, and we're going to use that for the integration today, but you can take this as a blueprint for any messenger. So the idea is we have two clients which we want to exchange messages in between. One of them will be our desktop element client and the other one the CC2 device, and we want to send messages in between those two using our own Matrix instance. Since we will not run the Matrix client on our CC2, we will just use the Node-RED integration with Matrix to use that as a client and receive the messages and then send the payload to our CC2. And to keep track of all the devices with registered users, we will use a small database. On the CC2, we will just use the default message list, and we're going to use the chat application this time. Here in Node-RED, we have a rather complex flow to set up the user credentials, so to create the client-side user and to create the InfoPhone bot user, put them in the same room, and also to store the device IDs, user IDs, and the according rooms. But we're not going to focus on that. We're going to focus on the actual message integration. Okay, so here we have our two flows. The first flow is how to send the messages from the server to the device. We are using a Matrix integration node for Node-RED here, listening to all the messages coming from the server. Then we're gonna do a lookup with that incoming message to find out the device ID and the room that we need. Once we have that, we can build the JSON message in the right format that we need for the message list on the device. We will send that to the device. Then we're going to send a second command to go to the chat page. We are going to send an audio alert a little bit later, and also we're going to store that message for the acknowledgement or the decline later. So here we have our second flow, which is for the answer of the device. So we're going to listen to all MQTT messages coming up from our server. We're going to check for the specific answer format that comes up. We're going to look up the ID of the message and then connect that to the stored message content to then create an answer that this user of the InfoPhone has replied to that answer with a yes or no. Then we're going to create that text and just send it to the right room and the right recipient. Okay, let's see if it works.